This is MoneyPig Trading. Today is January 3rd, 2021. It's the first short video to talk about Snowflake lockup period expiration, and possibly Snowflake is going to hit about 220 and 250 in the first 2 weeks of January 2021, and how you can make a couple 100%, if not 500% on this trade. It's kind of weird that nobody actually talks about Snowflake lockup period that's going to occur on January 7, 2021. I don't see any Thinkorswim or E-Trade news. I think one or two authors mentioned it about this lockup period on January 7 for Snowflake on Seeking Alpha, where one of the person or people tweeted on Twitter about this. So kind of feel obligated to make this YouTube video. So Snowflake has been dropping from the top from 429 to now 280. Because January 7 has been confirmed that Snowflake, I think at the last week of 2021, they released SEC file saying that yes, it does follow their lockup period expiration criteria. So January 7 going to release 35 million shares on top of the outstanding 50 million shares. That put a lot of pressure downward to the bear side. And this week we do think it has a room to 250 and 220 upon this lockup expiration. So based on this trading opportunity in last Thursday, December 31st, we do make some decent money. Trading weekly, same day expiration 290 puts, make 200% on top of it. Our average was 65 cents, and each contract we're making we closed at $2.25. Pretty decent. And we actually traded a few times on the same date on last Thursday. And just to recap, this is the SEC filing on Snowflake on January 7, 2021. Snowflake released 37 million shares, and the current outstanding is 50 million shares, which really released a lot of shares in the market, and usually that put a lot of pressure, right? Just to have a disclaimer, I know every time people said, the stock is going down, usually those people get a lot of cursing, right? Curses, I mean. So I do think Snowflake is a really good company. So just two ways to prove it that I think Snowflake is a good company. First, I personally use it on the daily basis for data science, data engineer, even MoneyPig Trading works, right? So I really love Snowflake. I think it's a great company, great relational database, great product. And MoneyPig Trading also used to loan Snowflake. We actually enter loan Snow stocks at 275 back to October 2022, and we are mostly all out on December 8th, 395 with 43% of the upside on their long-term investment, which is pretty decent. So just a disclaimer again, MoneyPig Trading really likes Snow. However, when an IPO usually, the lockup period ends, usually drops, right? So take a look at Beyond Meat. Last year, the lockup period finished, I remember, October 29, 2019. It dropped from the top $239 a share all the way to $79 a share. So it's a huge drop. The recent one, Snowflake cousin Fubo, also have a lockup period. Ends on December 30th, and we see what happened. It actually topped from good news and the investment bank's upgrade. From the top $62 drop all the way to $28. And it actually has a small lockup period, I think on January 4. But anyways, this week, but it's only 10% of the outstanding shares. So I do think Fubo is going to have a little more test to the downside, break this EMS support, and the next 2 weeks the price should hold up. So usually IPO names drop right after there or before a few months or a few weeks before the lockup ends, right? So that is the same thing happening for Snowflake. There's definitely another factor we have to consider is investment banks usually are underwriters for those IPO names like Morgan Stanley, Goldman, right? So their analysts usually allocate the target price for that corresponding IPO name to protect their IPO clients. And also they, as underwriters for the IPO, they usually own options or warrants on those IPO names. So they also have their personal interests to protect those prices. So that's why sometimes for some lockup period it's going to end, we don't see the price drop, quite a bit. It's because those underwriters, they're actually protecting the price, especially if the outstanding shares or market cap for that particular IPO name is relatively small. It's relatively easy for those underwriters to protect their those IPO stocks price. However, back to Snowflake, right? It's totally overvalued, sorry. So if you look at the most popular database in the market, this data is from the db-engines.com. The most popular one is that's my experience in Silicon Valley for years, right? Like Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL, Postgres, MongoDB are the top 5 most popular databases in the market. Snowflake actually is only ranked number 41. Its market share is not that great so far. I know people are saying Snowflake has great potential, etc. On the top, when Snowflake was traded $429, its valuation is a staggering $121 billion, right? Right now, today at $280 a share, its valuation is about $79 billion. So if you really treat Snowflake as such a highly, high value stocks, why don't we trade MongoDB, which is also very popular? I know it's a little bit different. It's not that, considered as a relational database if you want to go to the technical details. But MongoDB is valued only at $21 billion, right? And Snowflake's market share is way lower than Oracle's, MySQL. And on the top valuation, Snowflake is almost, like 70% of Oracle's valuation, while Snowflake's market share is way, way lower than Oracle/MySQL, right? So that's something we need to consider. At least in my humble opinion, Snowflake is a great company, but at least valuation is, I think, is a little too much based on these numbers, right? The other way to look at Snowflake is if you were a Snowflake employee, especially an early one, would you sell the stock? So look at some data, right? This data is from levels.fyi. So I post some data on the internet. So if you join Snowflake, let's say you're not that early, okay, you don't join like Series A, Series B funding stage, which you probably got options a few cents per contracts. Imagine the upside, right? You probably got, I don't know, 100, 6-7 digits number of shares. Now it's trading at $280. I don't know how much you can make so many zeros. Just assume you joined Snowflake in 2018 to early 2020 before their pre-IPO run, right? You probably get, I estimate based on the internet data, you probably get about $15 a share per reserve service unit, which is stock, RSUs. It's pretty safely to assume if you're engineer, data specialist or technical person, you probably get at least 400,000 worth of stocks. If we count it as $15 a share, you probably got about 2,666 shares per year. It's actually a lower estimate. Look at the levels.fyi, how much shares the engineer get, right? I see numbers easily 25,000 per. Sorry, that's bonus. I see numbers ranging from 20K to 460K, worth of stocks per year, right? Some numbers 250K, vested in 4 years. So each year is about $60,000 worth of share, $25,000 worth of share. But anyway, let's just assume 40,000 worth of stocks per year you get, which is 2,600 shares. So if you got 2,600 of Snowflake shares every year, and if it's traded at $280 a share, each year your stock is worth at $750,000. That's amazing. Okay, on top of your base salaries and bonus, etc., each year working at Snowflake, you're probably making $1 million. That's just hypothetical. I'm getting the data from the internet. It's all hypothetical, right? But assuming you're making that money, right? In your early 30s, late 20s, will you sell some stocks to take the profits? I would. I don't know if the answer for real Snowflake employees, but based on the numbers, I assume most people will take profits, right? So that's why January 7th, when lockup period expired, I do expect, there will be some selling pressure on this stock. Although underwriters might start to come in and protect the price, we don't know. But yeah, there's definitely some downward pressure there. If you are holding some Snowflake stocks, probably a good idea to buy some January, March 2021 put options to hedge your position. That's what option contracts is for, right? Forgot to mention there's another major lockdown period on expiration on March 15, 2021, which will release another 28 million shares on top of the 50 million outstanding shares and the 37 million shares that's going to be released this week. So that will be quite amount of shares as well. If you're holding the stocks you don't want to deal with options. The other way is to just simply average down your Snowflake stocks. If you don't have any Snowflake stocks, I would say don't add anything right now. My re-entry price is 250 or below. I'm hoping to get anything below 220 or even 200 or 180. Thank you for watching this short video. If you like our content, please check us on MoneyPigTrading.com or follow us on Twitter, MoneyPigTrading, the same with YouTube and Instagram, and make sure you like this button. And again, we're not registered financial advisors. Those are our personal opinion. Please treat it as education purposes and do your due diligence before any investment decision. And thank you and Happy New Year. Have a great day and great trading.